I would like to discuss doing business with Wholesale Modular Homes. I think even people that go to your traditional Clayton retailer or independent retailer or whatever, still, even if you walk in the door, it's not like you buy a home or build a home every day. So even going to them, it's new. You know, it's just they're a little bit more in your face about how to do it, because they have a process, and the process is to get you from point A to point B to point C, and they're going to move you along like a herd of sheep. So let me start right off first and kind of put it this way. In doing business with Wholesale Modular Homes, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to pick you up and bring you from point A to point B to point C to point D unless you want to go from point A to point B to point C to point D. I'm not here to sell you a home, I'm here to build you a home. I can't stress that enough. I've had people actually get mad at me because I didn't go out of my way to sell them a home. I know that may sound kind of crazy to some people, but it kind of did the day it happened to me. I remember one in particular. But anyway, so I'm not going to sell you a home. I'm going to walk you through the process. I'm going to either answer your questions that you may have. I'm going to probably even throw more questions back at you, which, by the way, is not a selling technique. A selling technique is to say yes, 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 even if the answer is no. Don't believe me? Go spend some time at a Clayton dealer. But anyways, so I'm gonna either go look for the answers, or I'm gonna give you the answers if I have them. So first and foremost, it's important to understand that that doing business with us is a little more low key than you may be used to. Secondly, we have a website with about, I don't know, maybe 80 floor plans on it that have some pricing on it, and the pricing has different characteristics of for the homes. There's what the homes have in them. If you look on each one of the pages, it tells you what the specs are for the home. And then on top of that, the price, unlike say a Clayton dealership, or I keep saying Clayton, but that's because everybody seems to be familiar with them. But I mean, it goes with a lot of them. But we have a turnkey based off of what we know, which we know nothing. I mean, I don't know your property, I don't know anything. But what I do know is I know for that house I have to build you a foundation. I know for that house I need to put your heating and air in. I know for that house I need to deliver it and set it and trim it. I know for that house, for code, I got to put steps and decks on it. I know for that house I need to minimum connect it to water and sewer when the house is there. So our prices include those things that we know. So so instead of me sitting here and saying, oh, that house is 70 grand, and deceiving you into thinking that the house is 70 grand when it's really 110, because it's going to cost $12,000 for the foundation, $6,000 to deliver it, $3,000 for the crane, $5,000 to set it, $4,000 to trim it, yada 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 yada. And next thing you know, now all of a sudden you're coming in to sign a contract with me. You think you're buying a $70,000 house, and you're really buying a $110,000 house. We put that right up front in our website. I don't have time for the tricks and trials and tribulations. So you can either go off our pre-existing floor plans we have here, or you can bring a floor plan that you've gotten from another retailer and we can duplicate it, or you can even customize your own floor plan right from nothing. We do all three types. It takes a little bit longer for me to give you pricing on the second two, because I've got to go through all the variables to do it, whereas the ones that are on the website that are already pre-planned floor plans, I mean, I've already gone through all the myriads of hours that it takes to come up with an actual price for you, a turnkey price. Those numbers are not as simple as some may think. Anyways, because there's way too many variables in each house, roof size, da 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 da. But anyways, so that's like I said, we can go with three different types of flooring. Site visits, one of the other things that people might want to know is, well, how can I see one of your homes? Well, let me explain this. I don't have a retail sales center. That's part of the benefit to you. You're not paying the $30,000 a month it takes for me to have a sales center. Instead, what I can do is I can either bring you to some of the houses we have out in the field that may be similar to the one you want. I mean, you've got to give me a general idea what it is you're trying to build too. Or we can go do a tour at the factory, or you can review the videos. I mean, I have some customers that, they literally come to me and say, Bob, this is the floor plan we want, right here. I want this floor plan, this is what I want, go ahead and get me a quote. Okay, fine. And then I have others that are like, well, what we're looking for is this many bedrooms and this many baths. Do you have any ideas? And I can narrow it down for them or whatnot. I mean, everybody has their own level of expertise when they come to me. Not everybody is prepared, and they don't have to be. But I have to kind of go with what it is that you have, and then bring you to the next level, bring you from point A to point B to point C. So anyways, the other thing we can do is we can go down to the factory and do a tour, see how the houses are built, see the quality of construction. We only use factories that build only modular homes, only offering modular homes. So it is kind of cool to go through it. On our Facebook page, we have actual pictures that show you the stages of the houses being in construction anyways. I have a whole booklet in there on how the homes are built, so you can see that anyways. And then, so you pick out a house, let's just say. Well, one of the things that's going to happen is I'm going to run a quote off that house. I'm going to get you a spec page, 4, 5, 6 pages of specs. It's going to have all the different features of the home and whatnot, and the cost elements to the home and whatnot. And if you're happy and satisfied with that, I'm not saying that's the exact house you're going to pick. We can do a couple of things. I can either go do a site, I got to do a site visit anyways. I got to see where we're trying to build a house. I got to try to see if it's actually going to fit, if it's going to make sense, whatnot. So I got to do a site visit, and or we can also, do a factory tour and whatnot. But I'm going to do a site visit anyways. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to make sure this is going to work. And then, then next would be, well, now we got a general idea what the numbers are. I've done a site visit. We get a spectrum of what it is. Then here, you need to go talk to one of these lenders. We have a handful of lenders that we have you talk directly to. I don't care where you work. I don't really care. I don't care how much money you got in the bank. None of that's relevant to me. All that's relevant to me is that the bank says, yeah, we can do the loan. Go ahead and start building the house. So we're not gonna get into your personal information. I'm not gonna pull your credit report and all that kind of stuff. That's an evasive way of doing business, in my opinion. That's your personal information. That's not my personal information. If you happen to share with me, hey, I'm a trucker for a living, because we're having a conversation, that's fine, that was your choice to do that, but I don't need to know that. I consider that another level of us being professional in how we deal with you, the consumer. You're not a sheep to us, you're not in a web with us, you're not in a system with us. We're just picking you up and moving you from A to B to C as you choose to move from A to B to C. I have people that talk to me and then 3 years later call me back and then have me build a house. It is what it is. That's because that was what their timeline was. I don't make their timeline speed up. I fit their timeline. I'm the one providing the service. When it gets time to actually start building the home, here's one of the tricky things. We get all the contractor licenses. We get all the permit information from the county. We pull the bonds and all that kind of stuff, and we fill all that stuff out and get it all prepared for you. And then we give it back to you to go down and actually file for the license. We can actually go and file for the permit, the building permit, sorry. We can also go file for the building permit also. That just costs you more money. So my initial approach is to take the approach that you're gonna do it. We're gonna walk you through it, we're gonna do it all for you anyways. You might as well save the couple $1,000 it's gonna take to actually have us do it for you. Again, that comes off the premise that we are all over the place. I'm in 3 different states building these houses. That's part of the process of doing business with us. I am not in a retail store right there next to you. So I don't know the landowners all around and that kind of stuff, but I have all the key components between the delivery, the set, the trim, and the foundation that my people travel and do that work no matter where it is. Those are the most important key components to your project. Then the next part is we actually go ahead and permits are pulled. Construction loan is closed. We build your house. We start building it. First thing we do is we drop the foundation in the ground. You and I have already cleared all the specs with the factory, and then we order the house. The colors are picked. We either sit down and go over them in person, or we go over them through a video, or we go over them at the factory. I mean, it's very flexible on that stuff. We're not trying to run a bunch of customers through this system. We're limiting the number of customers. I have more people that want to do business with us than we do business with. I can assure you of that. And 50% or so of our customers are actually referred to us. It's a component of my business that I'm very proud of. And as long as I can keep it at that level, then I don't have to spend any money advertising. If I don't have to spend any money advertising, I can keep the price down for you. I mean, it's a simple concept. It really is a simple concept. It just sounds complicated, but it really isn't. But anyways, that's in a nutshell doing business with us. If you have any questions, obviously you can call and ask. And if I said something too fast, which I have a tendency to do because I have a northern dialect and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, we don't bite. I'm not going to bite. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to help you if I can. If I can't help you, I will refer you to retailers that I know in your area that I trust. And I will tell you that also. So anyways, have a good day, and I hope this was helpful.